Into a ring mold, we're going to stack some vegetables vertically, then horizontally, like so. Lift it off a little bit slower than necessary for a dramatic effect. And let's see if this is good enough to save a restaurant from an evil reviewer.
Okay, guys. First things first.
Hey, guys. Hi. Why don't you have a seat? I'm afraid we have to have a bit of a difficult conversation. I have something to tell you guys about the signature dish from the 2007 Pixar animated film Ratatouille, and that's that it's not very good. You know, I wish to God I weren't telling you that. I wish to heck that after all that effort and time that very pretty dish tastes halfway decent, but doggone it, it doesn't. Ratatouille is my most popular episode of all time. And if you go back and watch it, you'll notice I'm very careful not to say, oh, this is good. And even though it is the cover of my second cookbook, in the recipe description, I make no secret that this is a recipe frankly not worth making. In order to achieve that Pixar look, those clean, crisp, brightly colored slices of vegetables, you're basically having to do a dance between how good do I want it to look versus how, frankly, just okay do I want it to taste. So the question that I'm seeking to answer on this episode is, can Ratatouille be elevated to a haute cuisine level without losing its core competencies? And I'm going to see if I can find an answer. And by golly, I'm not going to stop until I do. I mean, I am going to stop several times. The shoot's going to take place over the course of, I think, 3 days. A big thank you to Bombas for sponsoring today's episode. These are hands down the most comfortable socks I've ever worn, and these Sunday slippers are my go-to as soon as fall hits. They have a hard bottom, so they're perfect for slipping on to go outside and take out the trash. Comfort aside, my favorite part about Bombas is that for every pair purchased, one is donated, and they've donated over 150 million items. Bombas make great gifts for everyone on your list. Feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing your purchase is doing some actual good. New customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/Babish and use code Babish20 at checkout.
They say you eat with your eyes only, though. So does it even matter that your last one didn't taste good?
They don't say that. Who says that? You eat with your eyes first. I've heard that. You eat with your eyes only? I think that is categorically incorrect.
I don't understand.
What if a pile of human feces looked beautiful? What if somebody dolled it up? They did a is it cake kind of thing with the feces and it looked beautiful. Would that be enough?
Okay, I think you've made your point.
So what I want to do is prepare each vegetable in its own unique way that will maximize its flavor, its color, its appearance, its contribution to the dish. I want there to be slow, hard-earned flavors in there. I want there to be bright, fresh vegetal flavors. And I want it all to come together into something that is immediately recognizable to your mouth as ratatouille, even if it looks like something wild on the dish. So I'm going to start by making some crispy shallots, basically taking a whole bunch of shallots, slicing them thinly on a mandolin, covering them with cold oil, bringing that oil up to frying temperature, and letting them fry until nice and crisp. That's going to make for a great garnish. It's going to make for a great, deep, roasty onion flavor. Okay, let's fish them on out. Those look great. They're not going to feel crispy straight out of the oil, but as soon as they drain and cool, they will crisp right up. There's our crispy shallots. We're going to let these drain and cool completely. They're going to stay nice and crispy. Next up, the tomatos, or tomatoes as you might call them. I have these lovely grape tomatoes, and I'm going to blanch, shock, and peel them. To peel any kind of tomato with ease and efficacy, we basically just cut a shallow little cross the bottom of each tomato, and when it hits the boiling water, it's going to make the skin retract and almost peel the tomato for you. Next, we have a bowl of ice water at the ready, and we're going to plunge these tomatoes into the boiling water for only like 10-15 seconds until we see the skin split. Then we're fishing them out, dropping them immediately into the ice bath so they cool off and they don't cook too much. This is also going to further retract the skin, making them even easier to peel. Now, I'm just going to very, very carefully peel back the skin, revealing the tomato within. I'm really hoping these guys stay together. And to try and juke the stats a little bit, all right, okay, folks, I'd like to introduce you to my fancy new toy and hopefully best friend. This is my new chamber vacuum sealer by Lem.
So you want this to taste good, but used a chamber vac so that no one can actually make it at home. Can you explain?
Well, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. A chamber vac is indeed an inaccessible piece of kitchen equipment. So if I use it in a recipe and then say that it makes things taste delicious, you have no way to verify. You have to believe me. It's law. So what's cool about a chamber sealer is that this creates an actual vacuum, like, you know, the vacuum of space, if you will. It causes all the liquids in the bags to boil at room temperature because it's sucking all the air out, basically. And the crazy atmospheric conditions cause the cell walls of fruits and vegetables and other stuff to collapse, improving moisture retention, sometimes improving texture, and changing the appearance drastically. So, I want to use this in a couple different ways today, starting with the tomatoes. What I'm going to do is chamber seal those with some of the shallot oil, in which I'm going to fry some garlic chips, so we get garlic and shallot infused oil, then basil and some other lovely things. And by chamber sealing it, not only are we going to basically rapidly marinate the tomatoes with those flavors, we can then sous vide the tomatoes until they are jaw-droppingly tender. Then there's the eggplant. I've never been a big fan of straight up grilled or sauteed eggplant. To me, it has a pretty unpleasant texture, even if you salt and drain it beforehand. So I want to see what happens when I compress eggplant, which is going to burst all of its cell walls and help it release more moisture than it would just by salting it. Then smoking, scooping, and pureeing it with tahini into an almost baba ganoush-like state. These guys are going on a 275 Fahrenheit smoker for about 45 minutes. Then I'm gonna crank up the temperature and blast them at like 450 until they have some nice golden brown color to them. Then there's the red pepper. Basically, I'm gonna put it on the stovetop, right on the flame, roast it until it's totally black, peel off the skin. Then I'm gonna chamber seal those with really good olive oil, some really nice anchovies, and some garlic. This is going to rapidly marinate them, the equivalent of marinating them for a week in the fridge. We just got that nice and vac sealed in there, and it was just speed marinated, but I'm just going to let it hang out for a little bit, just, I don't know, just how I feel. Next up. All right, next up. Next up, zucchini. Zucchini tends to dry out. When you compress it, you're releasing a lot more of its moisture into its own cellular structure, and then you want to cook it hot and fast so that it browns really nicely and it sort of locks all that moisture in. I'm very curious to see what happens here. Look, you can see they've been made sort of evenly colored and translucent. That kind of papery texture's gone from their surface. So what's going to happen when we take them out and cook them? There we go. On my left, your right, we have the traditional, just sliced and sauteed zucchini. On my right, your left, we have the compressed zucchini. Start with the traditional zucchini. Nice. Lovely, little mushy, you know, zucchini. Let's try the compressed one. Whoa, it's way softer. I like it. It might be all in my head. I might be trying to justify this chamber sealer, but now I'm gonna try it with some oil. Let's see what that does. So of course I'm gonna use some more of our shallot garlic oil. There's little reason to use anything else. There might be a reason to use other stuff. What I have here is some shio koji. It's the building blocks of miso, and this lowers the temperature at which the Maillard reaction occurs, encouraging better browning. It also just amps up the umami content to 11. Like, this is a big source of umami. So I'm just gonna add some of this to the oil. I don't even know if I can incorporate these together. Here we go. The koji is starting to boil. Wow. Those look different. That's what a compressed vegetable is supposed to look like. You can see it's darkened and it's become completely translucent. Fascinating. Now I wonder how these cook up. Kind of hard to tell them apart after cooking, but you can see that the compressed one did brown better. It picked up more color in the exact same amount of time. Let's try the new one. That's really good. I don't know, it just was less dried out. Like, it had body, and it was tender, and it was juicy, and it was so flavorful from the oil and the koji getting bammed in there. So I think these guys are like ready for me to cook and plate up, so I'm not gonna futz with those no more. Come on, big guy. Okay. It has been many more than 30 minutes. I think it's been about an hour and a half. I would call these successes. Here, why don't we try one? That's good. Wow. After true confit, tomatoes are kind of overtaken by everything else in the soup. This tastes still very much like a tomato, a cooked tomato. It has the elements of the garlic and the shallot and the herbs. They're supporting actors. They're not in the opening credits. All right, our eggplant is off the smoker. As you can see, they've shrunk significantly, but we still have lots of nice soft eggplant flesh in there that we're gonna blend up. There we go. Now, baba ganoush, of course, has a not insignificant amount of tahini in it. I'm gonna do a ratio of about 5:1 eggplant to tahini and infused oil and caramelized garlic cloves. We need some lemon juice. Here's some of the thyme from the sous vide tomatoes. I'm just gonna pull that off, add that right in there. Getting nice and smooth. Let's see where we're at flavor-wise. It's so creamy. Damn, dude. I was gonna double strain that and siphon it into a mousse, but it already practically is. It's in this gorgeously thick, smooth. Look at that. It is mousse. That's a mousse. This is ready for piping. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this with hot water. I'm gonna put this inside and let it warm up so it's nice and warm when we serve. All right, folks, all the elements are in place. It is time to plate up. I'm gonna fry these first. I'm gonna keep these guys moving so nobody browns unevenly. I want really consistent browning across the board. Another part of me wants to chop up the pepper. The whole pepper in there isn't gonna play well. Yeah, this way they are an integrated part of what you're eating. Okay, keep these guys moving. I'm gonna hit them with a little bit of salt. Then I want my smallest, most darling little peeled tomato. I'm gonna lay him down right here. Try to sear his ass. It's pretty much time to plate up. Oh my gosh, here we go. Let's do this. First thing we need is the mold. Mold goes right here. All right, let's get these guys off of the heat. First thing we gotta do is fill the ring mold. Now, I'm going to pipe down a little base of mousse, and then I'm going to spoon my pepper rod in there, and some of these crunchy fried shallots. A bit more of this on top. And we dot it with our seared cherry tomato. Very delicate little thing. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not super thrilled with that. So now, the single chive. Just like Remy so dictated. Yeah, that doesn't look so great. That doesn't look great. Damn. I'm gonna have to make this my first crack. The aesthetic needs help. Because we can't have all that caramelization on display on the outside. The whole thing just looks kind of burnt. Let's see how it tastes, shall we? You can cut right through everything. I mean, the flavors, that is something special. This really checks all the Ratatouille boxes and it elevates it. It makes it into something interesting and novel. Now we just got to make it look right, which we'll do right after these messages.
Long. Hot. Hard. Slippery. Babish cookware. You know what I'm trying to say.
Your ratatouille from years ago looked great and tasted bad, but this last one looked bad and tasted great. Coincidence?
I don't think that there's such a thing as coincidences, especially when it comes to kismet. You'll find that there's a symmetry to all things in the universe, a light for every darkness, a hot for every cold. Given that all of existence is one unified field of uninterrupted consciousness, I have lost my train of thought. Now, my first attempt tasted amazing, but looked like video game food when you burn it. So, I want to try something different. What I want to do is take some thin slices of my squash and eggplant. I'm going to salt and sugar them. Then I'm going to put them in a vac bag and compress them before sous videing them at 180 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes, basically deepening the color, tenderizing, and fully cooking the vegetables, hopefully without losing their vibrancy or their structure. I tried that out with some slices of these veg, and you can see, like, it's crazy, the difference. Like, this is how the eggplant looked before it went in the bag, and then after compression, boom, almost see-through. But they're also still a brilliant singular color. So, I got my sous vide set to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna drop this in for 30 minutes. So my plan is to make a kind of zucchini and eggplant flour. Arrange them in a flour, brush them down with miso butter, and broil them. The miso butter is important because it's going to taste delicious, but also because it's going to help with browning. It's going to add a lot of flavor, a lot of glutamates. It's a win-win-win-win. This is a mixture, I'd say 3-to-1 butter to miso. Oh yeah, you know he's getting serious now because he's busted out the chef's tweezers. Let's see how these turned out. They're beautiful, like they're that perfect verdant green. That looks almost raw. If anything, it looks more green than when it's raw. So that's baller as shit, you know? That's great. It's really tender. They're perfectly seasoned, nicely sweet. That's a nice color. No, that's a nice spread, isn't it? That's nice. Yeah, that's perfectly nice. Is that nice? I think that's nice. Is it nice? So basically now I'm gonna slice my vegetables on the bias. This is gonna give me ovals of vegetable, which I think will weave together into a much nicer looking kind of rose. That's perfect, I like that. That is gonna add real petal-like qualities to this flower that we're engineering against God's will. All right, I have my beautiful compressed semi-translucent veg, all of which is going in the sous vide for 30 minutes. Just like putting files in a filing cabinet. A big wet filing cabinet. So part of my plan for this new plating is to have a sort of flower of ratatouille surrounded by a dirt substrate. Yeah, dirt. Whatever. The dirt is going to be composed of breadcrumbs and our crispy fried onions. So I've got this beautiful baguette whose guts I'm going to harvest. So I'm going to put the torn baguette guts in a food processor and process it until we have what look like panko breadcrumbs. Why don't we try toasting these in miso butter? Why not? About 2 tablespoons of butter for almost a cup of breadcrumbs. You know, I don't think this is going to work because these pieces are too big. I'm going to put these in a convection oven. Okay, my breadcrumbs are beautifully golden brown and crisp. All right, let's really hope this works because this is all the crispy fried shallots I have. Ooh, pretty. It's doing exactly what I want it to do, which is it's crispy, but it packs together kind of like wet sand. My plan is to sort of have this ring of dirt that I'm going to leave negative space in the center of. Beautiful. It's a ring of dirt. Soil, not dirt, soil. All right, the vegetables are out of the sous vide, and frankly, they are looking perfect. Okay. Onto assembly of the flour. So I have the same ring mold that I used to punch out the center of my dirt. That way the flour will be the exact same size as the chasm. So I'm going to take each one of these guys. I'm going to start rolling them up into tight little rolls. There we go. There's my first. There we go. Do you see what I'm going for yet? Probably not. Keep it tight. These yellows are so freaking delicate. It's looking so pretty though. You see that? See what I'm going for? Does this fit yet? Yeah, there we go. There's the flour. How about that? Now, miso butter. Yeah, that's looking good. This guy's going under the broiler. Now, I have one of our beautiful compressed and sous vide tomatoes. Put that right in the center. We have our marinated pepper. I'm gonna chop it very, very finely. Almost like a relish. Let's check the flour. Flour's done. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm not gonna be able to hold this for long because it's hot, 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 it's hot. Pipe this right in here, all around the tomato. We'll drop our pepper rod right over top. There we go. Now we have our broiled vegetables. We just need to get those on top without screwing this up. Oh my God, I did it. I freaking did it. Oh my God. Okay, I feel a lot more proud of that. There it is. My improved ratatouille. Enough talking about it. Let's eat it. We're just going to eat it the way it was meant to be eaten, which is like that. Oh. God. I'm done. Sunday night. I'm going to go upstairs and play Zelda now. I'm excited because this is really good. The vegetables are perfectly tender. They still taste like their source material. They taste vibrantly of zucchini and eggplant and tomato and all the bits are there. I'm so happy with this. Now, time to eat every single bite of this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for supporting the new direction of the channel. Please let me know in the comments what you want to see next on this show, from movies or television, what dishes you want to see me explore and extrapolate, or what dishes you want to see 10 levels of, or if there's another show you want to see, or if you have athlete's foot right now. It's official. I can cook better than a rat. Food holds within it many memories. Preparing this dish sent me back in time to making the original Ratatouille episode on Binging with Babish. Just a guy with a camera in his tiny Harlem kitchen, begging his brother to make his nephew dress up like a younger version of himself. In time for a 9 a.m. release that same day. True story. I bought him the kitchen set. It was fine. He owed me. So should you make this crazy, chefed-up version of Ratatouille? Sure, it's delicious. But if you really want to have the Anton Ego experience, make something from your childhood, something your mom or dad used to make. Or if you're an orphan, gruel, I assume.